If you do not control the people around you, you will be controlled by other people. And if you do not have this ability or this understanding to control what is happening around you, what is happening, and the way people are, the way people behave, the way people make you, other people make you feel, if you are not aware of how to control it, then you will always be controlled by it. So in this video, we will be talking about a lot of Hermetic principles, a lot of teachings of Shankaracharya in Advaita Vedanta, and also some of the ancient texts and neural science, neural patterns, quantum physics. A lot of things will be spoken in this video, and at the end of this video you will have a very clear understanding of why and how to even control the people around you. I'm not bullshitting, because at the end of this video you will realize that okay, this is actually possible, and this is how it is possible. So first, we have to understand what is controlling people actually means. What do I mean by saying controlling people? Am I saying you to go and control people physically, or use any kind of violence, or use any kind of physical oppression to control the way other people react, other people behave? No, I'm not saying it. I'm not asking you guys to go and control anything or do anything in this physical reality to control other people, because that is not going to be the truth. Because most of the times, once you have this want within you to control other people, the more you want to control them, the more they want to be out of control. They do not want to be controlled by you. Once you have this urge and you do things to control other people, they do not want to be controlled by you. Nobody wants to be controlled by anybody. That's the only fact. Nobody wants. Do you want to be controlled by other people? You want to be controlled by other people? No, right? The same applies to everyone, but we can actually make or actually control other people. There is one way, one logical way to actually do it. And in this video, we'll be discussing about it in detail. So by saying control, I do not mean to use any kind of physical violence or any kind of physical action, but I would like to make you guys understand, why do you even want to control? Why is this controlling aspect, why is this want of controlling people actually arises? Why is that even happening? It's simply because you do not feel right. You do not feel the way that you want to feel, or you do not feel the way that your desired reality wants to feel. The things that you have in your mind, it's not what you actually want. It's not the way that you want to feel. But you, by controlling other people, just want to do one thing. That is, you want to change this feeling. So you are actually right, because once you want to change your feeling, once you want to change this feeling, you have to change something. But you think that something is other people, that something is going to be outside of you, anything that you see. But you should actually feel, you should actually understand, why is this feeling so important? Where is this feeling coming from? This feeling of not getting what we want from other people, not feeling the feelings that we expect from other people, comes from basically the beliefs that you hold. The way you feel is just because of the belief that you hold. If you believe that the opposite person is supposed to react and act in a certain way to you, and if it doesn't happen, you feel bad, or if it does happens, you feel good. But simply it means it has something to do with your belief. And where is this belief coming from? This belief is simply coming from the things that you have seen in your life, the experiences that you had in your life, that is in the past. So simply, it comes from the experiences that you have or had in the past. And what are these experiences going to do? These experiences are going to shape your perception about reality, shape your perception about other people, right? So once this perception is shaped, it directly affects only one thing, that is projection. once this perception is shapen, it's so defined, it affects the projection. What is projection? It's simply the three-dimensional reality. All right, the three-dimensional reality. But what is this doing actually? The three-dimensional reality is doing only one thing. It is controlling, or it is making you feel a certain way. It can be good or bad. And this projection, this 3D, this physical plane includes all the other human beings. Simple. So this makes you feel a certain way, and that way makes you, or this way you feel, is because of the belief systems that you have in your mind. These belief systems were formed in the first place because of the experiences that you had in the past, and the experiences shaped the perception that you have, and the perception is going to shape the projection that is in your three-dimensional reality, this physical plane, and this projection is going to again affect one thing: your feeling. You want to control other people because you want to change the way you feel. What is actually happening here, guys? If you have watched my videos, you know what I'm going to say. You know what I'm going to say, don't you? It's as within as without. The law of correspondence. That is law of correspondence. What does this actually say? As above, so below. So whatever is there in the higher planes of consciousness will be seen in the lower planes of consciousness. What is the higher plane of consciousness? Of course, it includes spiritual plane, it includes mental plane, and of course what is there in the spiritual and mental plane will be manifested, will be created, will be seen in the three-dimensional reality. That's a spark in our head, isn't it, guys? And now you can see one thing here, that is, you can see a spiral, you can see a circle, you can see a cycle here. And this cycle actually has a lot of steps, a lot of different processes, doesn't it? Yeah, so now you have to see, just because of this correspondence, this law of correspondence, and one thing you cannot negate, or you cannot avoid the law, because this law or principle exists, and these things, only the laws and only the principles cannot be changed. Because of course once something is created, it has to have certain core principles, so that on that core a lot of things can be built. There is a core and a lot of things are built upon it, but this core is going to be the same. You cannot change the core, you cannot change anything, you cannot even modify the core. What you can do is to use this core. And what are you going to use it for? You are going to use that core for self-serving purpose. First you have to understand, it's not bad. You serving yourself is why you were born. You want to serve yourself, you want to love yourself, you want to celebrate yourself. Just that is the most important thing that you have right now, no matter what you are doing, but self-serving is the most important thing. So now you should understand this core is the same, and things are built upon this core. And these core are the principles, and these principles includes a lot of laws like this. There are 7 hermetic principles and a lot of other ancient texts, a lot of other philosophical things, and of course we are going to talk about it. But you have to understand, the core cannot be changed, it can only be used. If you do not use it to your favor, it will be used against you. Always keep that in mind. If you do not use something, it's either use or be used. If you do not use these things that I'm saying, these things will of course be used against you, because it is the core, it is the law, it is the principle. It cannot be negated, it cannot be avoided. So now you have understood this cycle, don't you? So what is that cycle? The cycle is basically, you do not feel right now, you do not feel good right now in your life first, and then you do not feel good, you do not feel right because of the beliefs that you have in your mind, and those beliefs are because of the experiences that you had in your past, and the experiences are going to shape your perception. The perception is going to actually dictate your projection. The projection is the three-dimensional reality. It includes human beings and all the other things, all the other cosmic forces, cosmic experiences that you have. It is all included in this three-dimensional projection. All right, and that is going to affect your feeling. So now you have to see, or you have to understand, how to even change this, Shahid, because I really don't like a person. That person actually annoys me. That person really annoys me. For that, in order for you to change that, you should understand one thing. Let's consider this as a real person. Just pretend that this is a real guy, okay? And let's call him Mr. B, okay? If you ask me, how is this guy? This guy is actually very sweet to me. This guy says good things. This guy is polite. This guy is kind. This guy is really good. He is humble. But he is not the same to you. He is actually a very bad guy. He actually, is not very polite. Is not very good. He is not kind. He is not humble to you. And if someone asks you, how is Mr. B? You'll be like, he's a very bad guy. He's not a good guy. He's rude. He's bad. His aura doesn't feel right. And you'll be like, okay. The other person will be like, okay, really, Mr. B is a bad guy. But if that person comes and asks to me, I'll be like, Mr. B is a good guy. What is even happening here? Okay, leave this. I'll ask you one question. Are you the same to your parents as you are to your friends? Of course not. Are you the same to your friends as you are to your partner? Of course not. Are you the same to your partner as you are to your employee? Or if you're a businessman, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a businesswoman, are you the same as you are in your business, as you are with your employees, with other people? Of course not. What are you doing at that point of time? Or what is Mr. B doing? Because if I ask about you to other people, let's say 5-10 people, 10 people will have different opinions about you. Why? What are you doing? And what is Mr. B doing? What are you two guys doing in common? That is, Mr. B wears a mask A and he wears a different mask B to you. Okay? So this is the mask. Simple, understood, right? But what is this mask going to do? This mask directly does one thing to you. It dictates how you feel, right? Perfect. And this mask that anybody wears dictates how you feel, and you feel anything about anyone because of the things that are in your mind, of the things, the belief that you have. Let's say you do not like the person, or you hate someone who drinks, who drinks alcohol. You just hate that person. Anybody, you hate that person. So you see a guy who drinks and you have this mental image of that person, that you started judging that person, that person is a bad guy because he drinks, and because maybe that is the mask that he wears in front of you, and he's drinking in front of you. So it's like you will be like, no, I don't feel right, and you feel bad. It is because of your belief. If it is because of your belief that anybody who drinks is a bad guy, you feel bad. And why is this belief coming? It is because of your past. It is because of the experiences. It is because of the belief systems that were built from the experiences that you had in the past. And this experience, what did it actually do? It actually shaped your perception. What is this perception? That anybody who drinks is bad. Okay? And what did this perception actually do? This turned into your projection. That is, you felt angry. You felt really bad when you saw a person drinking, so you felt bad. Doesn't it look similar to this? Doesn't it look similar to this? I was not even kidding when I was talking about the spiral. This is what happens when you are not okay with someone in your three-dimensional reality. It is simply because you're not okay with that person here. It is because of the cycle. And once you understand this cycle, once you understand the nature of any spiral, any cycle, you want to understand one thing. It's simply these spirals has one capability, that is, if you change slightest of any of one thing in this cycle, the entire cycle changes. That is the magic of this. It has this ripple effect, this snowball effect, that this changing by any one of these things will actually change the entire trajectory of this spiral. It will change the way you feel about other people. It will change the way you feel about this universe or this experiences that you have right now in your life. So, how are we going to do it? And one thing that I want to say here, this essentially is not a bad thing, guys. It is a bad thing because it is not doing one thing, that it is not serving you. This spiral it looks like it is a bad thing because it's not serving you. But there are a lot of people who love this, and to a matter of fact, they don't even want to think about this because it is already doing a great job to them, and this is serving them. So these are the people who, always we have seen someone that their life always looks perfect, everything happens perfect, and you are like, why is this even happening? It is simply happening because of this spiral is in the right way to them. And the spiral is simply not the way that you expect it to be to you. As simple as that. The spiral always exists. The spiral always exists. It is because you cannot outrun a principle. As I just said, you cannot outrun a law. You cannot outrun the core of this entire universe. So this always exists. So now this is good for someone. It is bad for someone. It is simply because of what it has done, of what the spiral has made you feel. So now we have to understand one thing from the writings of Shankaracharya, the person who played a major role in Advaita Vedanta. Okay, so once the same thing is good and bad at the same time. So this spiral is good and bad at the same time, right? Now you have to understand what is the nature of this polarity. The nature of this polarity. What Shankaracharya actually says is all is one, and the superimposition of Brahman, or the superimposition of Maya upon Brahman, is what this reality is, this three-dimensional reality is. It is Maya, as you know. Maya is nothing. Maya is not real. Maya actually means unreal. So the Maya, the superimposition of Maya on this Brahman is actually what we see with our eyes. That is why you actually, see people as different beings. But in the core, you are not your body, you are not your mind, you are something that is left, you are something that is neither of these. Okay, and it is also said beautifully by Shankaracharya. It says, whenever you want to understand something and whenever you want to get to a solution of a problem, it happens to be, he suggests a way to you. That way is called neti. And what does this neti actually do? Neti means not this, not that. So, in order for you to actually get an answer for a question, you should actually be aware of what is not the answer. Instead of going straight into the answer, you should know what is not the answer. You should be like, no, this is not the right answer. This is not the right answer. All these things are not the right answer. Then what is left? That is the right answer. So, in that right answer, you will have this belief, you will have this conviction, because your mind knows that everything and anything else is not real. It's all, let's say, Maya. It's all unreal. It is not real. But only one thing is real. That is what this neti does. Not this, not that. And if you're really interested on these things, I would really suggest you guys to read about and read the teachings of Shankaracharya. And it takes a lot of time to understand what he actually means. But once you understand it, it just clicks. Once you understand, it's just a game. So coming back to this, you are not your body, you are not your mind, you are something that is left apart from these two. So, okay, you are something. Let's consider another person. That person goes, the same law goes to that person. The person is not their body, the person is not their mind. What are they? They are also something. They're also something that is not any of these two. So, this something equals that something, that actually means you equals them. So whomever you want to control or whatever you want to control, what do you actually want is to control you. So once I say you want to control you, what I actually mean is the spiral that I just explained. You want to control the feeling that you have, you want to control the experiences, you want to control the beliefs, you want to control all these things. It's as simple, and just by changing one aspect of that entire cycle, that is the feeling, you're going to change the entire trajectory, entire, the motion of the cycle. So now you are like, okay, you and others are one. That is what Shankaracharya actually says. And in Hermetic principle, one of the Hermetic principle says it that the all is mind, and mind is all. And he also says the all exists in the mind and the mind exists in the all. So it is actually twisted in a little bit, but it actually means that all is one, everything is one. What is there in me is what is there within you. It is all the same thing. So now you have to understand that if you want to control something, you want to control yourself. And I'm not saying controlling does not include or does not involve pressure. So you have to get that straight in your head. Controlling does not have any external factor. Controlling comes by understanding. Controlling comes by realizing. Controlling comes by wisdom. The wisdom is called as Vidya, and this Vidya takes away avidya, that is the ignorance. It is also said, same, Shankaracharya has mentioned it beautifully, that Vidya is the knowledge. The wisdom is going to take away the ignorance that you have. Once there is no ignorance, once there is absence of ignorance, you will be living the life that you always wanted to, because the mind is in your hands. The mind is in your control. And even in Bhagavad Gita, as Krishna says, once you understand yourself, that is, you have the knowledge of self. Once you have the knowledge of self, you do not need anything. You do not need anything. That's what he actually means, that once you have the knowledge of self, you do not need anything else. That is so deep, guys. So you have to understand who you really are, what you really are, how is it going to help you in this entire journey. And me explaining all these things, do you think that it was easy to formulate all these knowledge in a proper way and it serves me? And I formulate it in a way that it is with me, it stands along me, and I'm using all these things to explain it to you guys. It is not simple, but it is actually needed, it is required. And from my previous videos, some people thanked me and some people appreciate me, and we are attracting a lot of viewers recently. But guys, I would like to say one thing, that I do not want any appreciation. I do not want any thing in return. I just expect, or I just have this intention in my mind, that if I got this right, if I have this in my mind and it is helping me, it is serving me, it is helping me to become who I actually want, and I can see the changes in my reality, and why can't I do the same to you guys? That is simply what I actually mean. And as I said, you and them are same, me and you are same, everything else is same. So I feel like when I help you, I'm helping myself. Or Simply, that's the truth. That's how I feel. If you help me, you're helping yourself. If you help others, you're helping yourself, because you and them are same. That is why once you give charity, some way or the other, once you give this charity to other people, you will receive money from somewhere. It's like magic. It happens. It happened to me a lot of times. Once you give to other people, you will receive, because you gave to yourself. It has to come back to you. That is how this energy flow works, and we will make another video on that, because this video will get longer and I don't want to dilute this video. So coming back to this, you can actually control your reality by controlling what is there within. And knowledge of self, that is Vidya, is going to take away ignorance. The absence of ignorance is the presence of bliss. I know that has sparked, that has rang a bell in your mind, didn't it? So once you change the way you feel, this entire cycle, the entire spiral changes. The entire spiral changes, and it will be in your own favor, and you will be like, okay, now it's a child's play. This entire life is a game and I have mastered it. And you will start having confidence. And as I've mentioned earlier, confidence comes from a word that is called fetus. Fetus means knowing. Knowing is the absence of unknowing, that is the absence of ignorance, that is the absence of avidya, that is the presence of vidya. The presence of vidya is the presence of bliss. I know what just happened in your mind. I know what happened in your mind. So yeah, now you might have got your answer of how to control anything in this three-dimensional reality, how to control anybody, any aspect, any experience in your life, because ultimately you are controlling yourself, you are controlling the feelings that is there in your mind. All is mind and everything is in mind, and everything is in mind, and mind is in everything. That essentially means we have everything that we need in this life. You are everything that you already wanted to be, and it is just because of this quantum reality you are unable to access the dimensions, access the time, but you have everything that you've always wanted. You have everything that you've always dreamt of. I'm not saying it without any backup. I'm saying it with a lot of logical reasons, and if you watch other videos of mine, you will also know, you will also have this belief, you will also get into this confidence zone because of knowing things, because of absence of avidya, presence of vidya, presence of bliss. It will actually happen to you. And another thing is that do not get tangled in this wanting loop, because you cannot want something that is already you. Everything is you, everything is one, and you wanting something actually means that you and that person or that thing is not you. So whenever you create this distance between you and anything that you have, anything that you want, you create this distance by giving it the importance, by giving the lack of, the lack that exists in your mind. Once you start giving it importance, you give it a lot of attention, and the lack starts growing stronger, and you do not want that to happen, because it actually takes away everything from you, takes away all the things from your life, because you needing something, you send off this frequency of not having it, and this not having it frequency will actually kill everything in seconds. And I have spoken a lot about frequencies in my previous videos, so if you want, just go and watch it. I do not want to repeat myself. I want to give you the new things, new realizations that I have, new the sparks that I have in my mind, so that you get the same sparks and you help other people, so that by helping other people you help yourself. And if you're watching this video until now, I would like to suggest a book, Roots of Vedanta, and this is a beautiful book, and it'll actually help you guys a lot of things that is going on in your mind. It'll take away the ignorance. So until I see you guys in another video, stay conscious.